truth may carry this ship will carry our bodies to shore. Nice. Hello, hello. Oh, that's a little loud. All right, hey guys. Brendan here. I'll put this on this side so it's not in my view here. I'm just fooling around with a lot of the features of the Action 5, and it's a lot of fun. I'm having so much fun with this. One, I didn't realize, but you can actually hit the, I guess it's like an infinity symbol on that side, which I think is like your Bluetooth connectivity button. But when it's already connected, like here, when you turn it on, it automatically gets picked up, and you can see it gets recognized by the Action 5, just like it does with the Osmo Pocket 3. But I didn't realize you can just hit the this little Bluetooth or infinity button, whatever that is, and it starts the recording. Now there is a record button right there on the other side, but that's to actually record audio internally on this versus transmitting it over to the device. So you could do both if you really wanted to as like a backup, but I haven't run into a problem yet where I now know the need for that, so I'm gonna hold off. I'm probably a dumb move, but either way, I'm just gonna hit the little button, which is great. So I don't need to be hitting record on the actual camera. I can hit it here from far away and it works. So that is pretty cool. So besides that, I also downloaded and have set up the Mimo app, which I've had it. I just never updated it. I never used it. Again, I had it for the Osmo Pocket 3, but I never used it. And I think it has more advantages for the Osmo Pocket 3 now that I'm looking into it. But I wanted to use it for here because you can see, you know, what you're looking at. I mean, on the front of the Action 5 here, I have the little view screen, which is a square, and then I guess if you put yourself in the middle, you can assume you'll be in the middle of the entire shot, the entire frame. But it's cool to be able to make the adjustments on your phone via the app, see the whole picture. You can change your frame rate, you can change ISO, you can change everything. I don't know, I mean, that might be old news for everybody, but I found it cool. So anywho, I'm headed to run an errand for work, and I'm going to bring you along. I figure these little, I got a 20-minute drive, and I figured it can't hurt to try and do little recordings like this. Now, I don't even know if this means that I'll post this as like a video, like a YouTube video. It may not go up. I mean, there may be no purpose to this, but at the same time, this is all just practice. You know, it's getting the runs in so that you can better. Should I go this way? I should probably go the other way. Should I go the other way? I should go the other way. It's just, you know, getting the laps in so that you're strong and able-bodied, if you will. You know, you're comfortable with the camera. So that's what this is. It also helps you to kind of understand information and content, right? Like, is the purpose of this carry a lot of weight? Like, oh, I have this, you know, large in-depth thing that I want to talk about / review, go over, or is it just kind of a topical check-in and like little tiny updates? I don't know. I think for right now, it's just a little update. So we're gonna try doing this. Anyway, I guess the point of this vlog style quick video, which I want to try to keep to like 8 to 10 minutes, and I'll try to chop these down as we go. I mean, I'm already at 4 minutes, so I'll keep things clean and tight. And you know, again, as you go, you start to learn to not ramble. You learn how to cut things down, distill down the information. But I could always edit out a lot of this stuff too. So anyway, the point of this update is that I made a decision with regards to my cage, if I could find it. Here it is. In a prior video, I had mentioned that I got the SmallRig cage, and it's great. I don't have any complaints about this cage other than the weight, but it's an aluminum metal cage. You know, you can't you can't have the weight of a plastic cage but the strength of the metal. It's, you know, one or the other, obviously. So I just assumed that this wouldn't be adding a ton of weight to the whole rig. And I wouldn't say it adds a ton of weight, but it adds a noticeable amount of weight. And that's fine if you're okay with that. You know, if that isn't an issue for you, that's fine. For the 2025 version of me, what I'm trying to do is simplify. You know, going back, I've been doing this now for about 2 years in terms of learning photography to start, and then for a year, and then starting to get into videography, and then proper setups, etc. Now, I had a little bit of a delay with that because I was also trying to learn all of that, like content and video for my business, which is a brewery, for like product placement and, you know, product showcasing, product content, etc. So, you know, that requires a lot more like proper lighting and, you know, proper recording settings, etc. And I think that kind of distracted me for a while as I tried to get that up and running, and I got kind of in a bit of a lost world of my own personal stuff and the you know, the professional stuff, and it just kind of created delays because I was always kind of lost in the analysis paralysis. More recently, I've come to realize that, you know, I find a hurdle with all of the equipment as a non-starter. It's actually stopping me or leaning me against wanting to go out and record and produce things, whether it's photos, behind the scenes, content for my company, whatever it may be. It's like the workload is almost like a resistance to getting the work done. Now that I'm trying out the Action 5 and so far loving it, it's making me want to do it. Like, I woke up this morning and I was excited to figure out different kinds of setups. Like, I'm gonna move this camera around the car just to get different fields of view and different angles with this camera and just see how well it does. And, you know, I was excited to do that, and that was kind of new for me as of recently, and I want to lean into that. So here we are. Now, the problem with that is I see all these videos for anything, for any small sort of mobile device, whether it's like a cell phone, like an iPhone 15, 16, these small action cams, the Osmo Pocket, you know, like the Insta360 has a couple of those. Videos start to kind of roll out about, you know, building out a rig setup for these. And earlier on, I would look at those, not as if I wanted to do those, but I looked at those almost optimistically, going, oh, all right, what in here would actually improve the setup? And I think it was just me not really having the wisdom and the hindsight and the experience to realize that you don't really need any of that stuff. It's just clickbait kind of. It's people saying, oh, hey, you can get a huge handle for your cell phone. You can get all of these ND filters. You can get a screen mount and get a separate screen for it. You can also get like magnifying lenses. You can add on hard drives to the back. All of these things for like a cell phone, and it defeats the purpose of what the original thing was made for, which is being able to create content with a very simple mobile device that fits in your pocket that doesn't need the accessories. And then people are like, let's add the accessories. That I fear, which is happening, is with the Action 5. And, you know, I didn't watch a video, I came across a video last night of exactly that. Some guy was holding a rig setup for this, and it had like everything on it. It was almost like silly. It almost comes across like a joke. Or at least I see that now, that I think it's funny. Like, that you're gonna build out all of these things around this. Like, why don't you just get a proper rig? And I have that. I think I have a proper setup in terms of a camera and other accessories for that. So I don't want to cross over that to this. I want to keep this as simple as possible. And that mindset and mentality is what I'm applying to my questioning of this cage. Because it is simple, but it's not as simple as the one that it comes with, that the Action 5 comes with, the black plastic one. It adds weight, it adds complexity, it adds mounting plates, 3 of them. It adds a cold shoe. And in my head, I'm like, well, it's great to have the availability to do that if you ever decide / need to do that. But I'm almost putting the cart before the horse and saying, get this just in case you need it. Let's solve the problem that doesn't yet exist. And I'm not breaking the bank with this. I think this is like $30. but can I save 30 bucks, right? So I'm actually trying to convince myself that I don't want this, and that the plastic cage that comes with the Action 5 is better, or suits my needs better, which is that it's just simple. And I watched a video with Chris Meets Chris where he basically says exactly that. He doesn't see the need and kind of laughs at it a little bit, and he just says, you know, the plastic cage that it comes with serves the same purpose, maybe not to the fullest extent, but it does. And you know, one of the major complaints is that there's not a door here to access the battery, and therefore you have to take the camera out of the plastic cage to access the battery. As well, if you're taking out the card to, you know, transfer data to your computer, you need to take the camera out. So it's a, you know, that's a bit of a hurdle or a pain. I understand that, and this solves that, because you could just push this button, open the door, and access it. But again, it's like, am I creating a solution to a problem that really isn't there? I mean, how much of a hurdle is that to take 2 seconds to take the camera? I mean, I've done it. It takes 2 seconds to take the camera out of the plastic cage to access the battery or access the memory card. Now, with that, there's two things. One, the batteries last 3.5, 4 hours. So am I going to be in a situation where I need 2 batteries in a pinch, and therefore I'm recording 3.5, 4 hours plus, you know, anywhere from 4 to 8 hours on this thing? And on top of that, because I need them, I also need quick accessibility to this, more so than the headache of taking the camera out of the cage. And I don't understand how that, you know, that 1 + 1 = 3. I'm never going to be in a situation where, that I'm aware of, that I need 2 batteries and a transfer of batteries so quickly that is the hurdle, and I'm annoyed that I have to do that. It takes 2 seconds. As well, the other option is taking out the micro SD card so that you can transfer data. Now, by taking that card out and putting it into one of those, you know, SD adapters and putting that into your MacBook or your dongle, whatever, is the transfer speed faster than from a USB-C wire directly connected to this camera and transferring out? Yes. It's, I believe, almost 3 times faster. So you can transfer data almost 3 times faster. It's at least twice as fast by taking the memory card out and putting it into a memory card slot on a computer or, you know, dongle, versus transferring by wire from this. Now, does it physically have the ability to transfer faster? Yes, I believe it's a USB-C 3.2 on this, but DJI, from what I have read, actually throttles back the data transfer rates on this to a much slower rate of transfer, so as to not overheat the camera. Okay, fine, makes sense. Great, thank you. So then the question is, how slow does it transfer to the point where it's a hindrance versus taking the card out? And it's not that slow. I just transferred over a ton of data yesterday. It wasn't fast, but it wasn't slow. I mean, it took maybe 4 or 5 minutes. So it's like, all right, I'll just go do something else real quick. I'll come back in 5. And then it's transferred over and you're good to go. And again, if need be, if that is too slow a process, I can take the camera out of the cage, take the memory card out of the camera, swap, you know, put it in, transfer it, put it back. And at that point, with the added work of taking the camera out, taking the memory card out, slotting it in, then when you're done, putting it back into the camera, putting the camera back into the cage, how much time are you actually saving? So the benefits of this for me are not very recognizable or obvious. But I did take this camera out on a e-scooter for a couple hours 2 days ago, and it was super windy, and I've been testing mounts, and I'm not confident in the mounts that I had. And on top of that, between like my backpack, and I had it mounted here and hitting it a few times, and a couple times taking it off the mount so that I can take my backpack off, etc. And when I take it off the mount, I want to just take this and like put this on a park bench, meaning the camera. I'm realizing how often I may be kind of creating wear and tear on this camera, And therefore it's coming back to, do I just feel better about having this added protection versus the plastic? And I think the answer is yes. So it comes down to the weight of this versus the added protection. And I think I'm leaning towards the added protection. I think I'm going to keep this and just bite the bullet, move on with this process, this thought, and use this as my camera cage. And honestly, never take the camera out, because then I'll just use the door. And I'll just feel better about everything. I can get screen protectors for the front and back. There's already a lens mount on there, so the camera will be pretty much fully protected. And the fact that I plan on using this every day, I mean, that's my goal, is to use this camera every day. And I'm gonna be throwing it in the backpack, etc. I feel like this is a good move, and I'm okay with that. Now, on top of that, I get the added universality, the universalness of the mounts, which is quarter thread as well as the magnetic DJI plates, and that's good. Like, for instance, I'll show you my setup right now, but I have the camera attached to the DJI magnetic clamp plate that it comes with, which is a GoPro mount, and I have that mounted to a little GoPro other mount with the screw, which has a quarter thread on the back, which I have threaded directly into this magic arm, which I have clamped to my visor. And it's holding pretty steady. There is a little bit of shake, but I have the Rock Steady Plus on, so I'm testing that out to see how smooth this actual footage is. As well, if you haven't noticed, I'm in 4x3. I'm trying it out. Now, I gotta continue to watch all of those videos where both Luis Hermosillo and Chris Meets Chris have switched over to 4x3, and kind of go through why and their reasoning for it. My reasoning is based off the video that I've been creating. The field of view is almost too big. You're getting, with the 16:9, you're getting all this excess. I mean, even right now, I had it in 16:9, and the camera was recording like the hood of the car and the back seat, and like it's just not needed. And I thought that would be okay, because with Rock Steady on, it would be cropping in. So I'm just creating excess frameage so that the Rock Steady, shifting of, the smaller frame could cut out all of that excess, making me a little bit more of the subject, and netting out a good result. But I'm still getting a lot. I'm still getting a lot of excess left and right, east and west frameage that we don't need. And I think it actually dilutes or distracts the eye from the subject, which would be, in this case right now, me. With the 4x3, I think it cuts that out a little bit and draws your eye a little bit closer to me, or the subject. So I'm gonna try it out, and I think they're probably doing it for the same reasons. Yeah, so anyway, that's it for today. My goal is to come out with something every day, so we're gonna give it a shot. I think I just missed my exit, but I'll get the next. This is gonna be a keeper. Last thing, also, I ordered and got an extra battery, and honestly, that's just as kind of an insurance policy. Like I said, I wanna use this camera every day, and although the battery can handle, close to 4 hours, it's not as if I plan on shooting for 4 hours. But if for whatever reason I can't get the battery charged in time, for the next day, or I just have a half a battery at some point, whatever it may be, I want to have a backup. So I didn't get the combo pack that you can get with this camera, which is an extra $100, which honestly is a great deal, considering these batteries are like $35 a piece. And that combo deal comes with 3 batteries, which right there is $100. It comes with the charging case, which is the full, the closable one, and that also acts as a battery bank. And it comes with the same mounts that I have, and it comes with the selfie stick. All great stuff, but like I said, I'm trying to minimize my excess, and I don't need all of that. And I looked at it and said, okay, well, if it's $100 savings on the camera by not getting that combo, what do I need in addition to the camera and what it comes with And honestly, it's just an extra battery, and the battery was 35 bucks. So in theory, I'm saving $65. I did get this, but I probably would have got this either way. But worst case, let's throw that in there. I'm still saving like 30 bucks. And I don't need the extra battery or the charging case or the selfie stick, because I would be getting different versions of those things anyway. And I mentioned this in a prior video, I have the charging case for my drone, which allows you to put 3 batteries in it, just like the batteries for this. And you plug them in and it will charge them. I love that because those batteries are obviously much larger. They take more time to charge, and it's smart enough to know to charge the most charged one first. It knows to try to get you a full battery as soon as possible before it charges the more drained batteries. And that takes time, that takes hours. So I like that because it's a set it and forget it. You can actually plug in 3 batteries and it will go one by one and trickle down from highest charge to lowest charge batteries, charging them all. And you can come back at any point and grab whichever one you need. This is assuming you need these for droning. And I like that. I don't see that need for this at all. Again, you're never gonna need 3 batteries that I'm aware of, unless you're doing like long time lapses, multiple of them, but I don't see the need. So 1 extra battery fully charged in my case, or as you know, coming along with me, this camera, a few mounting brackets, and this cage, and this, and you're good. So, all right guys, that's it. I will see you soon, maybe tomorrow. All right, bye.